know you never get to see my face. I'm over here.
We're so glad you could join us this morning. We want to welcome you and want to remind you that on the back table are some prayer request forms. So if you have anything that's heavy on your heart or anything you'd like us to celebrate with you, you can find those. You can find those forms on the back table. Fill it out and put it in the prayer request box, and you can put your name on it or not. That's up to you. Also, back there is a place where you can sign up to be on our mailing list. That being said, again, I want to welcome you here today. We're so glad you could join us. And we have some special music from Jerry this morning. We are so happy you're with us today.
I reserve judgment if I'm doesn't matter what you call it, just as long as you remember there's a secret place of the most time. It's just written in us, and you can always enter. Just open on your heart and there. This is the place where we meet our moments, very always Christians at all. This is the place where they all delivers everything our hearts ever need. All life, all health, all love, all peace. Existence with power, Lord, it's time to be free. Walking in spirit, living in the presence of God. Walking in spirit, living in the presence of God. Anything helps you to enter, whether an affirmation is so good, or just sit in contemplation, quiet meditation, realize the presence of life. In this place, there is no limitation, poverty and sickness are down. In this place, there's only beauty, harmony, abundance, and love. All life, all health, all love, all peace. Existence with power, Lord, it's time to be free. Walking in the spirit, living in the presence of God. Walking in the spirit, living in the presence of God. So do anything that helps you to enter. Whether affirmation is so good, or just sit in contemplation, or quiet meditation, realize the presence of life. In this place, there is no limitation, poverty and sickness are down. In this place, there's only beauty, harmony, abundance, and love. All life, all health, all love, all peace. Existence with power, Lord, it's time to be free. Walking in the spirit, living in the presence of God. Walking in the spirit, living in the presence of God. Walking in the spirit, living in the presence of God.
Living in the presence of God, that's what we're here for.
Yes.
That is what we're here for. And we're also here to bless our children. Not only the children of the world, but also the children within each and every one of us. So I'd like to ask you, please, to join me in this prayer, blessing our children. We see you, who you really are, made in the image and likeness of God. We cherish you, we support you, and we love you. And so as we are in this space of blessing, let us now move into the silence, into that place where we truly are one with Spirit. And join me in prayer this morning. knowing there is only one life. That life is God. That life is perfect. That life is each and every one of us who are here today. Filled with Spirit. Knowing truly that the light and the love of God surrounds and enfolds us. That we move through this day with love and grace and joy.
Great gratitude. Great gratitude for this life, this holy moment. So let us allow the breath of God to be aware of the breath of God moving in and through us. Let us be aware that we are instruments of that grace, that holiness, that wholeness, that beauty. And as we allow our memory, that memory that is deep within us, that soul calling to be activated, may we in faith and with full trust in the power and the presence of God in us, through us, as us, and for us, move us forward into our world, into our day, into this moment with the absolute knowing that there is one life. That life is God. And that life is the life that lives us completely in its wholeness. Always has and always will. And so let us just relax into that idea, that truth, that absolute knowing. And may our day, may we go forward into our day in gratitude and ease, following the harmony of the universe. So I gratefully say thank you, God. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, within and without, everywhere present, always giving of itself to everyone and everything, all of the time. And together we sing, and so it is.
See that in the midst of the darkness, the light exists. So open my heart to spirit, and this light persists. I can see that in the midst of the darkness, the light is real. So open my heart to spirit, and it's love I feel. God is light. God is truth, God is love, God is good, God is light, God is peace, God is love, God is the supreme good. See that in the midst of the darkness, it's the light we need. So I know that I must be doing every part of me. And I bow as I walk among us into the world we know. I will be this light and this goodness everywhere we go. God is light. God is truth, God is true. God is love, precious love. God is good. God is light. God is light. God is peace. God is love. God is the supreme good. 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 Wow, beautiful.
Thank you so much, Jerry. That was when you wrote also, right? Yes. Oh, yeah. Talented people, talented musicians. I'm always in awe of all of our talented musicians, always. Because it is the song of the universe that's always being melodiously embracing us out here. It's not just energy, it's the energy of song, of spirit, as song. Yeah, I know that to be the truth. And so it is. Good morning. I'm so glad to be here with everyone today. It's a beautiful day, as Reverend Linda said before she had the little coughing thing. Honey, I'm so sorry that happened. But I'm very familiar with it. Yeah. So I'm glad to be here with you all today. And I'm so delighted that when I look out, it's like we're all part of the face of God. We're all part of the face of God. Because I was thinking about this last night. Really, what does God look like? I have an idea what Jesus looks like, but what does God look like? And then about 3:30 this morning, I just started laughing. Well, God looks like, right? God, that's what God looks like, yeah. If we are created in its image, in its likeness, out of itself, God did a very good job with all of us. I'm pretty sure of that. So today let's talk about sharing the dream. And last week I mentioned that African proverb that says, alone we go faster, but together we go further. We're talking about the beloved community that we carry within us, the power of the beloved community that we carry within us and that we create out here. This very community, Shining Mountain Center for Spiritual Living, is a beloved community. And what are we here to do? We are here to thrive in this beloved community, that we may be absolutely our most magnificent selves together as the individualized expressions of God. And from our values document for the Centers for Spiritual Living, we are very much about community service because we dedicate our time and our talent and our treasure and our expertise to the health and joyful evolution of our spiritual communities and the community, the larger community. And we do that in a way that we've been doing for 15 years here that we just love doing, and it's called Feeding the Flackett. And it's one of the most beautiful ways to connect with our community, and there are many ways to do so, but within our community, it's one of those things we really cherish and do along with a number of other communities in the Flathead. And we are constantly, I believe that there's within each one of us, it's not activated by something outside necessarily, it's activated by something within us that we welcome the continued evolution of our soul, the continued evolution of our consciousness. We welcome that. We look for ways to enhance it, and then we move into the power of embracing it, because we always want to be, I believe, from that very core of our being, the magnificence that we're created as. Not adding anything to us, but expressing and revealing our magnificence. So we do that together as a community. And Ernest Holmes there's a book called Open at the Top that Ernest Holmes wrote. And what that is about is he was telling us, leave space, make space for your dreams and for your vision. Make space for your dream and your vision. Just like Martin Luther King Jr. when he said, I have a dream. You know, he had a vision of and a dream of what it could look like. He didn't just want peace. He said, we will come together and we will be inclusive, as many, many people have said before and after his speech, but we are embracing it within us, each one of us as an individual. We must embrace that in order to express it. It's the funniest thing. We can have all of these ideas within us. We can say, this is exactly what I believe, and think that we are speaking our full truth, and unless we're acting on it, unless when the time call comes for an action to match that truth, we're just carrying some ideas around in our heads. We are called to, at this time, and I think we've always been called to, but more so maybe at this time because we're so globally connected, to get out there and be the truth that we believe, to actively be the truth. Now, let's just take a little breath on that. Yeah, because it's calling us to action. And it's not out here that we're being called from, it's from within here that connects. To everything that's out here. So I want to tell you about a little story, first of all, that I just heard this week. You know, this student was actually interviewing before school started at the School of Agriculture. And he was asked why he was interested in agriculture, and he said because, why he had chosen that career, and he said, because I dream of making millions of dollars by farming. And the person interviewing him said, what? And he said, well, I dream of making millions of dollars at farming, and my father before me had that same dream. And so the guy interviewing said, was quite impressed. He said, well, did your father make the millions? He said, no, but we have the same dream. We both carry the same dream. And this was really, it was a sweet story to me, because that's what we do. We share our dreams, and then others carry them for us sometimes, members of our family. Maybe it's our spouse or our partner, or maybe it's the student that the teacher taught. But they carry the dream forward, and it's about the legacy that's what I'm going to talk to you about, is the legacy. I want to talk to you about legacies, because yesterday I was so blessed to be able to do the memorial for a lovely, wonderful woman who has been a member of our community for probably more than 30 years. And when I met her, she was already in her early 80s. So I'm speaking from the, when she passed, she was 96, so I knew her for about 13 years or so. And so what I'm talking about is I got to be in the presence of this woman of wisdom. It wouldn't be the same story that the children shared yesterday about growing up, mom did this and mom did that. Always funny things and always precious things. But what I got to experience in the last 13 years of her life was the legacy she had created. I got to experience this. So I'm thinking about, what is the legacy that we're each one of us developing? And if you want to know what your legacy is going to be, it's the story of your life. It's whatever we're bringing forth. It's whatever we're bringing forth. And this woman impacted me so much, because one night we were having a women's meeting here, and we were downstairs, and we were celebrating actually her 85th birthday. And I'm going to have to take this off. It's just a mess. Anyway, someone asked her, well, do you have anything left on your bucket list? And she said, well, I certainly do. I want to go to Africa. Well, wouldn't you know, in our congregation, here's another lady, not her age, mind you, but another lady who was retired. And she said, oh, let's go to Africa this summer. I'll go with you. They did. They went to Africa. Oh my goodness, 85 years old. She might have been closer to her 86th birthday by the time she went. And they spent 3 weeks in tents in Africa. I mean, who would not be inspired by that? Who would not be? I was speaking to her children, her adult children. Of course, she had grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren, 3 after that. And every one of them they shared the sweetest stories. And you could see this tapestry of life of this woman. She was a teacher, and it was so her passion. One of her sons told me what her passion was, so much of helping the underdog, helping those kids that really found it difficult to learn and challenge, and she would help them, and she would pour her passion into helping people. What a legacy to live. But you know where the legacy comes from? It comes from our decisions. What are we deciding to do with a passion for love of others as well as ourselves? What are we giving forth that when we go, they'll say, well, this is the legacy she or he left. I had to make some real changes in my life, or my kids at my memorial would be saying, my son would say, Mom used to give us instant pudding for breakfast. And then my daughter, who was born 10 years later, would say, well, you're lucky, I got microwave popcorn for breakfast. So there's been changes made. And here's the thing, she was such a gift of wisdom and grace and boldness and power and generosity and love. That was the legacy she left. And that's what we can create. That's what we are creating every day. Every day. I have a neighbor that I think his legacy is going to be that grouchy old man. Have you ever seen that sign on at Rudyard on the east side? It says, used to say 596 nice people and 1 old sore head. We really want to. We can do that right now. We can decide what it is that we want to share with the world. The legacy does not have to be how much you accumulated. Doesn't have to be even how smart you were. Doesn't have to be anything outside of the givingness of self that will last forever. We were talking after they shared their memories, and this is very common, whether it's a funeral or a celebration of life, where people will share their stories. But you can see when this happens, when someone is sharing a memory, how it lifts others. And you know how it is when a memory is triggered within you, you're either feeling really good or you can feel real bad with it. But here's what we're doing. We're creating our legacy through the actions of today, which will be then the memories for us to move forward on, and leaving with those that we are interacting with, that our families, our friends, our community, the people we work with, the people that we support, the people we play with, whomever it is. We have this story. And if we're doing the best we can, that's what is called living a perfect life. Living the perfect life is not according to anyone else except you. And if you're living your potential, you're living in your own perfection, out of your own perfection. And only you can decide what your full potential is. It's only when we truly understand and know that we have a limited time on earth that we will begin to live each day to the fullest, as if it was the only one we had. That's what Elizabeth Kubler-Ross said. Now I'd like you to enjoy this song that this was Mary Mumby I was speaking of, beloved Mother Mary Mumby. And this was a song she requested. And as I asked Jerry to play it so that we could understand, or so that we could enjoy the story that was told by a young boy.
One little boy in Africa, he put a face on AIDS, and he told Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Holy Mother from India, helping the sick and the poor. Somebody asked, why do you do these things? And she said, this is what I came here for. She said, do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Well, this is a gift they gave to us to share wherever you go. You can be the change you wish to see in the world. Now I understand what they wanted us to do. They said, do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Do all you can.
Yeah, what a beautiful message. What a beautiful message. Do the best we can, wherever we are, with what we have. And that's how Mary inspired me. That's how she inspired me. She also knew that she had the most incredible collection of mystery books, series and all this stuff. And she used to lend them to me. But she also knew I was a skimmer. So one day we were discussing this book that she had lent to me, and I said, oh yeah, I read that, and da-da-da-da. She brought up a couple of things, and I said, I don't remember that, Mary. And she said, reread it. Read it again. I did. Oh, you know what we have? We have a national treasure of these wonderful people who look like they're aged and they're really sages, carrying all of this wisdom, waiting for us to ask them. Would you share with me? Will you teach me? Will you tell me? May I be of service to you? We have this national treasure in our youth who are also waiting to say, I trust you. I believe in you. I'll help you. I'm here for you. You're great. That's okay. Try it again. And then we have this treasure within us. That's all of that. It's the wisdom. It's the power to move forward. It's the power of forgiveness. It's the power of grace. It's the power of inclusivity. It's the power to understand that we don't understand and sometimes don't even need to understand, but to accept, to embrace. And remember that one of the greatest lessons that we can learn and then become is to remember our oneness. Not our sameness, but our oneness. I saw a little thing on one of the messages I got, and it was from a woman posted it. She said, I just wish I could talk about what my belief is instead of trying to defend it or shut up. Instead of having to defend it or shut up. She said, I don't want to convince you. I want to converse with you. Well, maybe we could start with something that we could both all agree on. Maybe we could just start I heard from a woman, from someone the other day that she's going to, after this pandemic and all of the things that have taken place, and you know what happened is life went on, whether we were engaging fully in it or not. Life went on. She said, somehow, some of the people that were important to me, not really close people, or close friends, but important people to me, she said it kind of, they slipped out of my life. So she said she had written herself a little schedule, so she'll call several people per week just to make that contact again. You know, it's the little things we do. It really is about doing what we can with what we've got, where we are, and at this time. It's about touching. It's about listening. Oh, that is one more thing I wanted to say about this woman of incredible character and strength. When you were in her presence, this to me is such a beautiful gift. When you were in her presence, she was more aware of me than I was. I mean, she gave you her full attention. She waited till you were done talking before she considered what she might be, you know, if there was a response or not. She taught me so much. She taught me so much. And here's the thing. There's this book called The 5 Love Languages, right? Are you all familiar with the 5 love languages? And you all practice them, right? You know what your love language is. Here's the thing. We say if you want more friends, be friendlier, right? And if you want to accumulate more wealth, for instance, share the wealth you have, whether it's apples, potatoes, money, whatever it is, time, whatever it is. Well, in the 5 love languages, this book, it's about identifying what is really what really makes you feel loved, right? Is it affirmations, or is it a gift, receiving gifts? Because sometimes, and it could be touch. Some of us want to be hugged and touched, hold my hand, that sort of thing. Some of us want service. We want people to do things for us. And what is the last one? Time. Oh, yes, thank you very much. It's about quality time. Here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. Sometimes we give away the language that is our love language, thinking that's what the other people want, especially when we're in partnerships or family members. I had my daughter come over to my house the other day, or I didn't have her, I asked her to, because I wanted her to clean my windows. So she finally came after months and months, and finally, weeks and weeks, and cleaned my big windows. I'm telling you, there was nothing else she could have given me that would have meant as much as that to me, and I'm so delighted, you know, I can't even tell you how beautiful and wonderful it was. And she said, oh, Mom, I knew that was your love language. I said, then why didn't you do it earlier? And here's the other thing. I have beautiful things in my house, including a dining room, a beautiful dining room, table and chair set that she bought me. Did that give me the same joy? Absolutely not. I'm not the gift. That's not one of my love languages, gifts. So I've got some jewelry over here, and I got some stuff here and stuff here. But when you do something for me, I really feel like you care about me. It touches my love button, and then I'm just so happy. But here's the deal. That's what I do for others too. That's what I do for others, thinking, you know, that I'm really doing something for them. My son says, Mom, would you leave me alone? I don't need you to do that. Yeah. And my mother, before she passed, I used to go to her house and I would clean it. I'd fly in from Seattle and I'd spend 3 days cleaning and shopping. And you know what she used to say to me? Stop. Will you just please sit down and have coffee with me? Her love language was quality time. I didn't know that. Mine, I was so bent on giving to my mother. The only way I knew how to give, do for her. You see, we want to be really aware that I don't think there'd be nearly as much conflict in our world amongst, people if we took the time to just know ourselves a little better. I just finished a class with our beloved Jamila, and learned about the dominance factor, and learned that Linda and I just fit together like this. It's wonderful to learn that just because someone, when you're talking, isn't paying attention, especially if there's some tension and there's this tense situation and you're trying to talk to them and they're just keep on with the screwdriver type thing or whatever they're doing, it isn't what would come up in me naturally, which is, oh, he doesn't care. Oh, he's dissing me. Oh, I don't mean anything to him. We're already almost divorced over this one little thing. And what it is we have two different ways of reacting and responding to stress. Some of us go quiet, some of us get louder. If we knew each other, if we knew ourselves better, I just believe that that's where the conflict could dissipate, that we bring out into the world, that we attach to, that's out there. I think if we knew ourselves better and gave ourselves more grace, more time, and more self-care, we wouldn't be so attached. We wouldn't be so ready to make judgment. We wouldn't be so ready to be offended. We wouldn't be so ready to be hurt. And we wouldn't be so unsure of what was going on out here. We are human beings on this incredible, incredible journey together. But again, we are individualized expressions. We're not all the same. And you don't have to do what I want. But if you do, it makes me really happy. Yeah, it's just an idea. It's just an idea. Maybe the next time you get into a situation that is causing stress, besides there's things we can do to help our bodies, to bring us into coherence. Besides that, take a moment and just breathe into this. What do you want out of it? What do I want out of it? Same thing I've experienced all this morning. This continuous harmony that includes everyone that's here and what's going on and what the rest of the day will look like. Underlying all of that is a harmony that I want to be connected to. So I'm going to invite you to move with me into a place of prayer where we're knowing that the language of love is also the healing language. Knowing that the language of peace is a action language. It's based in love. I covenant with my highest potential. The highest potentiality that I can experience and be part of and am, that is me. I covenant with that this day. And I invite everyone who can hear this to choose to covenant with their highest potentiality. That they may be the expression of God, that we may be the expression of God, that we may contribute to our world this week and create a story that becomes the legacy of goodness, of kindness, of joy, of love. That as a community, as a family, we stand under the shelter of each other and we support each other. And that we no longer turn on others nor turn on ourselves with anything except that compassion and love and goodness that is the very essence of our being. And it is my prayer today that every person will connect to someone, especially the youth, the elders, supported by and support, that they can express and exchange love and listen to the wisdom that comes from both the youth and the elderly, for there's no time frame. But we are limited to the days we are here on this earth. So let us know that we can be our fully activated self-divine the moment we decide that that's what our covenant with life is. Knowing that this life that we're living is the breath of God, fully supporting us until we make that transition, until we walk across that bridge. May we embody and embrace the fullness of the power that we are, and be held back by nothing. And so it is. Amen.
We are born to know our wholeness. We are born to know we're one and to love and serve each other. We are born to live in truth. And we live our lives in freedom as we trust the love inside. And we know we're truly guided, and we're living in the presence day by day. We are made in God's own image, each uniquely made to be, and in you God is completed, just because of who you are. And we live our lives in freedom as we trust the love inside, and we know we're truly guided, and we're living in the presence day by day, and we live our lives in freedom as we trust the love inside, and we know we're truly guided, and we're living in the presence day by day, and we're living in the presence day by day. We are born.
Thank you for sharing your gift with us, Jerry. So we've come to that point in our service where we put into action the law of circulation. So I'd like to ask you to take your tithe, your gift, your offering, not only in your hand, but in your heart, and join me in this prayer of spiritual giving and receiving. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. And so I have a few announcements for you. Of course, we have coffee downstairs following service. We have meditation every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8 online, and there's a Zoom address on the back table. Our next Dances of Universal Peace will be here on the 13th of October. Today we have a concert from 4 to 5, and my understanding is that the program is posted on the bulletin board. And I also believe that Jamila wants to tell us a little bit about a class she has coming up in November.
And also the dances are not this Wednesday, but the next one. Okay, so November 3rd, I'm teaching just a 2-hour seminar at FECC. It's called Resilience and Joy in Times and in Uncertain Times. And it will give you a lot of tools, and it's very experiential, and I think you'll find it interesting.
That's fun.
And fun. Yeah, the classes are really fun. So we fed 50, as Reverend Vaughn was talking about feeding the Flackett earlier, we fed 50 last week, and it's always a grand thing to do, and they are so grateful. And I attended their meeting yesterday, the Feeding the Flathead people, and they're now planning for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. So, Spiritual Principles and Practices starts on Tuesday online, and there's information on that on the back table. Or if you want to email me at cslcalispell@gmail.com, I can email you the information on how to join us. Oh, look, I misspelled next Sunday following service. Next Sunday following service is our monthly potluck, and you can join us for fun, for food, and for community. And let me tell you, the food is really good. That being said, like us on Facebook, share us on Facebook. And for our friends who have joined us on Facebook, thank you all for joining us. We are truly blessed by our presence, and we bless and thank you.